Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to the Transfer View. Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are doing well. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. It is only days until the preseason tour starts. Disgrace cheap. Put the fine in the jar. Fine in the jar.
Yeah, exactly.
Disgraceful. Absolutely
disgraceful.
I tell you what, when he shouted at me last night, that actually scared me.
Yeah. That was funny. That was funny. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Oh man, that was funny. That was funny. Yes, big up to the community, big up to everyone watching. I'm going to attempt to flick between only 2 tabs this time. I haven't got my Doctor Strange set up right now. The main bad boy needs some repairs. Yeah, it needs some repairs. So we will attend to that. Well, it might not. It might just need certain buttons pressing, which Josh is going to fix straight away for me. But I have gone on the internet and followed the open up your Mac in diagnostic mode and hold Command D and Command all that shit. But it's not working. And right now, it's a very busy time, and we're flying out to States tomorrow. So I thought the most important thing is be there for the viewers. Be live, be direct. The sirens are on. Yeah, my camera's still on. It looks crisp. My sound is sounding. I'm still here. Am I not? So I found a way. Find a way, mate.
You are here. I tell you what, I've had an eventful evening / morning as well, Flex. I don't know if you've heard the rumors, but KG the comedian and myself, nothing to do with the Rock. KG the comedian and myself, we're in competition. We're in competition at the moment. So we both have our Apple Watches, and KG recently informed me that you can become friends on your watches, and you can track each other's exercise, right? And you can see who's done exercise that day. Every time he finishes a workout, my watch pings and goes, KG the comedian just finished a cycle or something like that. Or he just finished a swim. That's what happened yesterday morning. And so we've been doing that. And then there's a thing on it where you can click competition. You compete for 7 days, right?
Oh, it's actually a thing.
Your competition. The best thing was yesterday. First of all, he called me after he had been to the gym. And this is how shameless he is, right? He called me after he'd been to the gym. He'd just done a crazy swim or something. He burnt all these calories, all that. He was, He went, let's do a competition. And I hadn't even done any exercise yet that day. And he was like, okay. I went, all right, cool, competition. He went, starts tomorrow. He was livid. Because he's I've just done this all for nothing. And I thought, this is how much of a devious bastard I am, K-Flex. Yeah. This is mind games, purely mind games, right? What I did is I did my exercise yesterday, and it got to quite late at night, and I realized that I was still behind. So what I did is I did just enough exercise that I beat him by 1% and then sent him a message.
No. So he sees this thing, he sees that your thing's only 1% higher than his. And that's going to piss him off. He's like, I've lost by 1%.
He sent me the most vicious voice note this morning. I probably locked in, you have no idea what you've woken up.
Oh, you've woken up the beast. I'm going to...
It's intense. It's intense.
He already said to me, Flex, the hotels we're staying in America, do they have gyms and stuff? So he was checking that. And obviously he's on his optimum journey. He's optimized. We've both been taking it for different reasons and stuff. And listen, the weight's flying off him, and he's feeling good. He's looking good for sure. I definitely give him that. And actually, because I was the first time I spent away with him for a little while in Scotland, his eating habits and how he's approaching things is very much. I forgot. I was like, "Do you want this?" He's like, "Nah, don't, mate." No,
I'll play you the voice note he sent me. Right, this is what he said to me.
Bro, this is the inaugural OWEN versus KG title charge. I'm making it my last mission to destroy you this week. I don't care if I'm on a plane. I don't give a damn. It's happening. You're going to have to deal with it. I'm so sorry, but we can always look back to the first one and say the first ever title one was by me. I plan to win a few more, but I'm just letting you know this one, I'm so serious. You've woken a beast. You've unleashed the legend.
Serious.
He's ready, mate. Well, he's warned you, so you better be up for it, Owen. You better be ready. You better be ready. Watch this space, guys. There will be updates across the channel. While I'm out there with KG, I will ask him for his updates. Owen will be giving you his updates here. Owen v KG. The fight is on. And like you said, KG as well is also on his optimized stuff. So he's a beast right now. He's a beast. His mentality is locked in. I'll definitely give him that. Owen, you got a tough task, mate. Got a tough task. But I believe in you. I believe. Yes, because I know you are very driven and never like losing as well. So it'd be a good battle. Right, what we got on the show today, we're going to be talking about Bruno Fernandez. We're going to be talking about the Danish players who have come back. We're going to talk about Adrian Rabiot as well. Maybe a little bit of Lenny Yoro as well. So much to get our teeth into. The Bruno stuff was interesting. Romano had an update for us, Owen.
Yes, indeed, he did. Kind of coming out of, I didn't think that Bruno necessarily been strongly linked to PSG. Of course, he has been linked with a move, shall we say, away from Manchester United this summer. But Fabrizio Romano saying that he understands that Paris Saint-Germain, sirens in the chat, are currently not working on a Bruno Fernandez deal. PSG's full focus right now is, of course, on João Neves, which could have ramifications when it comes to Manuel Ugarte coming to Manchester United. But interestingly, if Bruno stays at Manchester United this summer, also new contract talks could be the following step, which he kind of let the cat out of the bag there a little bit, Romano, with that one, really. When he goes that, well, if he does stay, new contract talks, going to be out the bag. It's kind of, that's really what Bruno Fernandez wants, isn't it? I don't know about you, Flex, but I've never believed for a second that Bruno Fernandez would be going anywhere this summer. I never believed any of the rumors. I mean, I kind of half believed the possibility that maybe Saudi would put down like a big bid just to test the water. I don't think he'd be interested in going there, in all honesty. But you never know what happens when a lot of money is put down. But I think it's just all about, he looks at the wage structure at Manchester United. He looks at people that are earning more than him at Manchester United, looks at some of the names and goes, I'm contributing way more than them. I'm the Manchester United captain. I should be either the top or if not very close to it. And he's not, which is probably where all of this stems from. So what do you think happens with that? Because it's not as if, you know, he's super young as well. So next contract, you know, how long is that going to be?
Absolutely. Yeah. Before I actually answer that, big up to Bruno, who's just on his holidays, chilling with the ghost of Rafe the Phantom, just on a surfboard, just being silly.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah. Love that, mate. Just that made me smile. Just the ghost of Rafe. And what's that team called again? Cosmos.
Is it? Yeah, it's Comos. I think it is. It's Fabregas.
Fabregas.
Well, he's part owner, and now he's the new head coach.
What guy?
Dennis Wise is involved in it as well.
Dennis Wise.
Yeah, and
I haven't heard that name for a while.
Pepe Reina is signed there this summer too. And they're just in Serie A. They've got a beautiful stadium. I'm not sure it's up to code though for Serie A. They were sort of saying
quite small. Yeah, I saw that, but they're in Serie A. I mean, what a move! I will be I'll be getting my Como shirt with Varane on the back. I will. In fact, I'm going to bring 100%. I've got to follow him for the rest of his days, however long. This could be his last team ever in life. Who knows? But anyway, back to Bruno. I didn't think he was going to go anywhere. He's just so driven, isn't he? To be at the top level, it seems. Of course, money talks and things happen in football. And if you get presented with an opportunity that you can't turn down, sometimes, you know, decisions happen. But it doesn't have that feeling to me. It doesn't feel like Bruno's eyes are wandering. It doesn't feel like Bruno's had enough. And I think with all the changes that have happened at the club as well, I think Bruno will be quite excited by it. I think Bruno will be quite hungry to sort of be the spearhead of something hopefully special within the next couple of years. And I think Bruno will be here around then. And like you said, he's 30 now, isn't he? Was he 29? Is he 30 now?
I will double check right now. But you're right. You raise a good point with that, to be fair. Like, he's been through some challenging years at Manchester United. So when things are just starting to get a bit positive, he's 30 in September. Right, why would you then suddenly be like, right, I'm out of here now?
That's what I mean. So it's 30 in September, which again, it depends on the individual though. Because some people could say, some players could be like, I've been here since COVID and it's been up and down and they've relied upon me for nearly everything. Now this is the last big contract. Actually, if I can go Bayern and just win some stuff, or if I can just play Champions League guaranteed every year for the next 3 years until I'm like 30 or 33, I'll just do that. I can't wait around. But he doesn't strike me as the person to do that. And he actually strikes me as the person to do the opposite, to say, actually, look, we know not one player is bigger than the club ever. But you talk about the manager being happy that there's a new setup and club's going in the right direction. The captain is also, you don't want to say the most important player, but they are, isn't it? Like that's the, after the manager into the playing squad, you go to the captain. He's the one who should speak for everyone, go and voice the concerns, help the leadership, get everyone on track, pull in the youngsters, pull in the experience, voice the concerns of the group. That's your role. You're the link between, apart from the coaches, you're the link between the first team players and the coaches stuff. So he's probably looking at it like, finally, actually, types of players we're going to get now. Hopefully be on the front foot. We're going to change how we play. We're going to do this. And I want to be at the spearhead of all of that. Unless, which hasn't happened, the manager and the board and that decide, well, that Bruno guy as well, we don't really like playing like that. But which obviously hasn't happened. So, yeah, I'm comfortable with it. I think he'll be fine. And I do think a new contract will be on the cards. I agree with that.
I think so, but I do have just a little bit of like, once you start giving contracts, it's not as if because how many years he got left? Is it 2 years on his contract? I think.
Yeah, probably about that. Yeah, it's not that. He signed a new one just before Eric come in.
Yeah,
didn't
exactly.
He?
Exactly.
When Ralph was there.
So it's a bit. I can understand maybe if Ineos were to sort of go, all right, we're open to giving you a new contract, sure, but we're not going to rush into this. We've got plenty of time here. Certainly these guys.
They can't be bullied by him.
No, and I don't think they will. And maybe, and again, actually, that's also a good part of this story in the sense of in the past, any sort of just very superficial links of a senior player, or a big player, a marquee player to a big club, like, new contract. How long do you want to stay for? We're giving you 6 years or something like that. Whereas now it's a bit like, well, all right, obviously, yes, you'd have a little bit more money. If we were to offer you a new deal, maybe we just, it's just an extension by like a year or just like, 2 years or something like that. Just in the sense of
the money would have to change though, because if you just trigger it, then it has to.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Let's say we do improve your contract. Like what's Bruno on at the moment? I think it's like 200 or something, maybe. Yeah. And let's say they go, all right, we'll give you 250 or 275 or something like. Still not the highest earner, by the way, but let's say it's something like that. Why do we assume that he'd be getting a contract extension for 5 years?
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just go, well, we'll improve your terms, but we'll only improve your contract by like a year, 2 years, something like that.
So maybe he's got a year left with the trigger and then they're given actually another real year. Because sometimes you can say the trigger is just something that's in there already.
Like I think the length of it's very important involved in all that, you know what I mean? It runs until 2026 with a further 12 months. So technically, actually, he's got 3.
27. Yeah.
Yeah.
So already
that's why you go. Ineos, you go. Well, Ineos look at it and go, right. So wait a minute. You've got a contract until you're about 32, 33, basically. Any extension we now give you, we've got to be a little bit. That's why I say
think about this.
Exactly. That's why I say you give a con. If you do improve your terms, they say it's 220k a week, something like that. You go, all right. We'll bump you up to 250. Something like that, or 275, something around that number. But in terms of the length, we're pretty happy with the length actually a little bit.
Maybe they don't increase the length at all.
We'll just add, or even if it's just 12 months, or just like, well, actually that option of the further 12, that's just now official. That's an official 12 months. You know what I mean? It's that's why I say it's a curious one, because when you factor in Bruno's age and the time he still does have left, you go, why would Ineos rush into that? There is no need for them to rush into that. We know he's not going to go anywhere. We know he doesn't really want to leave or anything like that. It's about improved terms and about parity in terms of his importance to the club, which is right.
But he might want to go somewhere if we don't do this, though. That's the thing.
But then if he does, then he does. Don't stand in the way.
Ridwan says he isn't going to get any better, so he doesn't deserve a wage boost. Because it's not like, because with somebody like Bruno, this is an interesting convo, actually. It's opened up quite a lot. And we all agree, well, not all, a lot of us agree, obviously, we want him to stay now. There are some people, look, MA says, sell Bruno and replace with Dani Olmo or Eze. Look, we're definitely not in this camp of, oh my God, if Bruno leaves, we're toast. Like, Eric Cantona's left this football club, David Beckham has, Van Nistelrooy has, Ronaldo has, the list goes on, right? It's not about that. But it's more about if they sold him, which they're not looking to do now, and Bruno wants to stay. But if they did, you just have to go and find the next one. Like you said, you could go get Dani Olmo for £60 million. That wouldn't be bad. You could get Eze for £60 million. That's not bad. Like, we can't think that, like, you're right, that they can't be bullied into thinking, but, what would we do if Bruno left? Oh my God, we're finished. Because the money you'd get for Bruno, let's be honest, if you sold him now, he's with 3 years left on his deal.
3 years left on
29.
his deal, 240k a week. You're getting minimum 70 odd million, maybe
Minimum,
probably more. 70, 80.
Bruno's 100. I think Bruno's a £100 million player in today's market. Someone who affects the game how he does with what he does. People say about the playing style and all
with
this
the amount of time left in his contract, I'd agree with you. If
Yeah.
it was like 1 year left or something like that, I'd be like, well, maybe not so
Yeah,
much. But
that's
3
different.
years left, like
Mason
2
Mount
plus
was going
1.
for 60 with 1 year. We just got Euro for 50, 1 year left. This is Bruno Fernandez, mate.
2 plus 1, captain of the club. You know, 240k a week is a £100 million player.
Solid international. He's a £100 million player. Whether we think that, if you could say, oh, his ability stinks, this is the problem in football, it doesn't matter. In the economy, in the football economy, he is a £100 million player. You got some average players or players in the last years going for some crazy money. So I don't want to hear that Bruno's not a £100 million player. When how much was Havertz? You know, stuff like that.
Well, how much was when Harry Kane went to Bayern Munich? He had a year left in his contract, right?
100 million, mate.
How much was that? It was close, wasn't it?
Yeah, about 90.
It was between 80 and 100 million. You know,
I know he's a goal scorer, but still,
But so is Bruno Fernandez. Not as much as Harry Kane, obviously.
Yeah,
great goals.
Oh, you muted yourself. I was like, oh, cut off there. But back to the script. Like, he is worth a lot in the market. So we shouldn't. People who are saying, listen, if we had to sell him and went and got Eze or Dani Olmo or whoever else, so be it. Like that's what happens. But there's a lot of us. I think we want Bruno to stay, and we think he will stay. He will stay. But how it transpires over the next couple of years is you're right, Owen, is a good point, because what sort of new deal do you give Bruno? Because he's hit his peak now. He's in his peak. This is the peak of Bruno. He's not going to get better. He might have a better season next year, like because he's might be a bit more consistent, or the team's better, so he scores more goals or gets more assists. But in terms of him improving his game, like we know what peak Bruno is, his peak of his powers. So how much more do you invest into him? That's the question, versus knowing another thing of what we've got to get better at doing, which it's been non-existent. Not even get better at doing. I'm going to say start doing. Because we've not had players who have fulfilled their potentials. We've not had a situation of knowing when to cash in on a player. We don't have it because everyone's sort of been below par, and it's like, so we don't sell good because the contracts are too big, or the ability doesn't match the contract, and then they end up just fizzling out. But actually, this is a rare case of people like Rashford and people like Bruno, who were the topic of conversation at the beginning of the window. It's like, when do you now you need to get the structure to say, well, if this bid does arrive for that player, business-wise, we have to take that because we can kick on from that and go in a different direction. The value's not going to be that high versus it's best not to. Let's keep them. Let's build around them. So we're going into new territory there. It'll be interesting to see actually how Ineos deal with this.
That's why I'm saying I don't think Ineos will be overly worried. I mean, I know there were those reports at the end of the season, weren't there, about like when they had the meeting at Carrington between all the parties, and it was like, Bruno, we're hearing some things. Do you want to stay? Don't you want to stay? Blah, blah, blah. And then after that, I think probably Ineos came out, but be like, yeah, he just wants a new contract. He's not just want to go anywhere. You know, he loves the club, all that kind of stuff. So I don't think, like I said, I think you have to be careful in terms of, because he is 30 in a couple of months' time. How long do you give him? Also, you don't want to go astronomically high, that if in, a year's, 18 months' time, he has this massive drop-off. We're like, oh, God, what do we do now with Bruno Fernandez? I think ultimately, they'll think they'll agree to new terms, but I don't think it'll be any time soon, because there's no need for Ineos to rush into that. And also, Bruno's not a player to like down tools and throw his toys out the pram. I mean, all of this, that stuff at the end of the season and that meeting was the most toys out of the pram for that year's future he probably ever
that's not even toys. That's just valid. The club's crazy right now. Yeah, there's new people coming in. What we're doing here. I'm the captain. Also, and I've had a look at it, and I'm like, these guys getting the big wages. What? Look at me.
Exactly.
He's completely entitled to do that. And if his agent sort of puts a couple of feelers out, Bayern are interested. If he did want to go, I have no problem with that. I know some people could say, "Oh, you're our player. You shouldn't be doing that." If you understand football and the economics behind it, what goes on in the background, it's completely normal. It's completely normal for him to go in there and say, "I want to go in the boardroom, and we need to have a chat about how you view me and where my head's at."
And also just in general, just about again where the club's going, and I'm sure he'd have got the same pitch that us as fans received of like, no, look, we're going to change training ground, we're bringing in Omar Barada, we're bringing in Dan Ashworth, obviously Jason Wilcox already here. We're going to be doing getting a new stadium hopefully, or renovating a new stadium. Like all this stuff is going on. Just watch basically over the summer to see what it looks like by the end of the transfer window. And that's just a few months of our sort of longer term plan. And I think like a lot of fans, you look at it and go, oh shit, they're actually living up to their word a little bit here. So I'm not overly concerned about anything like that.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Tabra says, Owen getting interrupted by Kenny yesterday. Haha. If you saw it, you saw it. Oh, that was funny, man. That was funny. I know it was like, well, let me say, Kenny, let me. Yeah, Kenny, that's the point. Kenny, I'm trying to.
That's what was funny is because I was actually like making the point that he had just made. But I mentioned the word Fred, and he was like, "Yeah," and we missed Fred last season. I was like, "Oh my god!"
It was really funny. I think he didn't really hear because sometimes when two people talk at the same time, it kind of cancels out on stream.
Yeah.
Like he just did it really in his AirPods. I just don't think he heard you. Sort of, it was funny. That was so funny. Yeah, Kenny, let me finish. Kenny, that's the point I'm trying to make. It's so funny. N248 says, morning, fellas. I asked a few weeks ago if you thought we were working on multiple transfers at once. Glad to see we are. Oh, is that because I remember I kept referring back to this super chat. So I remember somebody asked, and remember we kept saying, well, here's your answers.
Yeah.
And a few weeks later, it's 2 through the door. And let's be honest, I think with De Ligt and Ugarte, there's serious stuff happening there. One, if not both. There's more to come. So yeah, I think that definitely answers your question, bro. We've got over 1,200 people watching, which is great. 350 likes, guys. I'm sure we can push that way up there, way up. So please do smash a like on the video, man. And we are at 171,528 as well, which is brilliant.
3-2, even higher.
Oh,
Flex.
I'm behind. Yeah,
you're behind.
Refresh. 3-2. There you go. So yeah, big up to everyone subscribing. What you call it? There you go. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait there.
There you go.
Put
deconstructed. What you call it?
Moved with that. 5, 3, 2. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Right, the Danish contingents.
Yes,
Rasmus and Christian Eriksen are back.
Yes, indeed. Yesterday, Manchester United released the following photos saying, buzzing to be back. Pictures of Rasmus Højlund and Christian Eriksen after their escapades at the European Championship. Of course, Denmark got knocked out in, what was it, the round of 16?
Round of 16, yeah.
Round of 16, they got knocked out in. So they are now back. Of course, they'll be flying out with the rest of the squad tomorrow on the pre-season tour. And will be available for the games in America. We'll play probably on Saturday against Arsenal. You can see it right there on the right-hand side of the screen. I'm going to be live 11 p.m., 1 a.m. kickoff. And they should be involved. Flex and KG and Josh Media, Graphics Guru, Visual Ninja will be there in SoFi Stadium, Inglewood, California.
Bro, Dr. Traeger, Inglewood. Oh, so, man, I can't wait. Oh, yeah, I can't wait. I'm going Inglewood. You know how gassed I am just like as a hip-hop fan? Like just, I know, and listen, I ain't taking this lightly because I know you can't just like, how can I put this? You can't just be walking around. You can't just Inglewood. You can't just bop about, just trying to just see what's what. I get it, but I'm gassed. I'm gassed to go to LA. I've never been to LA, and obviously Inglewood. I'm gassed to go to the SoFi Stadium as well. Because,
incredible facility, one of the best in the world. Legitimately, one of the best in the world.
Yeah, and Robbie rang Robbie yesterday before he
SoFi Stadium. You want to be going for SoFi Stadium?
I rang him yesterday. He's on his way to the airport because those boys flew out yesterday. They've got a game tomorrow.
Yeah,
I didn't realize they're playing 2 games there. And I'm saying, yeah, man, we'll link up, we'll do whatever we need to do, get some videos done of that. And he's like, yeah, SoFi Bridge, best stadium in the world, best stadium in the world. I was like, yeah, so I've heard. And the Allegiance Stadium it's not bad. So, and a lot of people are putting that quite up there as well. But I think the SoFi is apparently.
Oh yeah, so SoFi Stadium is, open. I don't know, like 3 or 4 years ago. They already had a WrestleMania there. It's legit. It is.
Oh, they've already had it there. Yeah.
Yeah.
WWE don't waste no time.
No, they don't waste no time.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So yeah, really, really looking forward to that. So we've got some great stuff planned with the guys there at SoFi as well. So looking forward to it. Yes, looking forward to it. I can't wait. But yes, those two are back, Højlund and Eriksson. We knew they would be coming back. That's the last two now. That's your lot. That's your lot.
Yeah, I was going to say we're waiting for
a
traveling squad list, aren't we? Because I mean, to be honest, it might come out today or maybe like late. When did they do it last year?
Well, they're going tomorrow. It came out before they get on a plane. They just do it as they're going.
I think it came out the day that they were flying out. Because I remember, do you remember last year? You and KG like touchdown. I remember you were in Times Square, and the report was that Maguire hadn't travelled yet, had he? And and KG was like, Maguire's leaving.
Wait a minute. There you go. What do you call it? He's leaving.
What do you call it? He's leaving. He's leaving because he hasn't travelled. So it might be tomorrow. But to be honest, I am really glad that they're there, just because that squad, bar a couple of people, is going to be the squad that sort of really does start the season, because a lot of these players are back. Well, exactly. So we desperately, you noticed it in the 2 preseason games you've had thus far, particularly the last one where you get a few more senior players in, it becomes a bit more of a recognizable team. I did think actually Wheatley did very well in the first half against Rangers. Deceptively bigger than I thought he was. Really tall guy.
I said that. We saw him after the game when he was I don't know if you've seen the clip. If you've not seen the vlog, you'll see it, because we're standing by the doors. The players are coming out. I said, flipping heck, man. I said, you're tall, bro. I said, look how lanky you are. And he's like, everyone says that. And then you saw who posted up the crouch thing. Was that Cobby? Who did that little laugh? Or was it Harry Amas?
I can't remember.
Someone on Instagram it was one of the players like mocking him. They put the crouch thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's long and gangly.
He's massive, I
said, bro, how are you this big? He's like, everyone says that. He's massive. He's looking up at him like that. He's a teenager. Honestly, but he did do it.
He scored.
Yeah, I was unlucky.
He sort of cleared nearly off the line. But when you look at that team, you go, you just do need that sort of senior striker in there. So to have Højlund involved, of course, last season wasn't involved at all when it came to the preseason talk, because he only signed right at the end of it. And then he was presented against Lons, and then he couldn't play for a couple of weeks because he had that back injury too. So it would be good for him to be involved in the tour, and we're going to need him obviously for the start of the season. So encourage him for that. What do you think happens with Eriksson's future?
Well, I know we've got a lot to do in it. We got a lot to do, and obviously we can't just. We all want the outgoings to outgo, and rightly so. But it does, and this is why I'm comfortable with the people that we've got, doing this, like Dan Ashworth and Omar Brad, etc., because I don't think they'll leave us short. It's important that they don't. So yes, people like McTominay, and for me Casemiro, but I get it. It's a bit more difficult, might not happen, etc. Eriksson, that trio there, definitely. I'm looking for 3 different types of midfielders to be able to come in. Eriksson, he'll be low cost, and at this stage of his career as well, he didn't play a lot last season after playing, in pretty much every game the season before. He will, I think, look at it, and there was a lot of talk even before the window's open that he's going to move on and stuff like that. So I think, and it'll be an easy deal to do, but we just have to be careful we don't let people go and there's no answers. We can't be light, because already Amrabat, we haven't made a decision yet. If you let go of McTominay, who Fulham want, and maybe West Ham, and there's bids there or options there, that's 2. Casemiro, you don't know, but. So let's take Casemiro out of it for now, yeah? Let's just say Amrabat, McTominay, Eriksson. That's 3. Like, we're extremely light. Like, you can't just take them out. And yes, okay, even if Ugarte comes, Mason Mount will be like a new signing, to be fair, if he stays fit. So you got another one there. We just have to be careful we don't let too many go. But I think Eriksson would be one that would. I do think
someone mentioned it in the chat there, saying about deadline day, and actually it just made me sort of think that the deadline day across, I think, every club in the Premier League is going to be really, really busy this time round, because there is that sort of lost 2 or 3 week period with all these players coming back that they're going to get them in, then they're going to decide if they want them, or then offers are going to come in. So I think I mean, last year's deadline day was pretty mad, wasn't it? You know, we had all the Caicedo stuff and Harry Kane. Even reverse, it was like Amrabat, wasn't it? I suppose that will replicate itself again. But I think this year will probably be another level because of the sort of delay that the Euros and Copa America have put into that. So I wouldn't be shocked if actually, Christian's right there, that someone like an Eriksen could go late on, and then that means we complete a deal quite late on. I think there'll be quite a lot of late deals, which is probably also why United have been like, okay, the deals that we can do, let's do them as early as possible. There is almost an acceptance that some stuff's just going to be late, but we can't control that. Not out of like before, it's our own bad planning, and we just can't. It's just like, well, those deals can't necessarily be done whilst they're on holiday, or whilst we have to kind of still keep these players whilst the Premier League season starts, because we need them. Because we still technically we need them, but we don't need them. We need them for the start of the season, but long term we 100%. Don't need them. So how's that going to work out? So there could be a lot of really late stuff as well, I think.
When is it? August 30th, isn't it?
Sometimes it's like September 2nd, isn't it? Summer transfer.
On the Sky schedule, I was like, it goes
30th of August. You're right, like 30th of August. Yeah,
I'm in there. We got the rotor through, and it says 30th deadline day, I think. So, it is one of those where it's like, okay, well, the season starts on the what? So ours is the 10th for the Charity Shield, and then the 16th. So you got like 3 weeks, 2 weeks. You got 2 and a bit weeks.
Yeah.
Well, even from Charity Shield, really, you got 3 weeks, right? Let's say. So you got 3 weeks to sort of have a look at the squad. 3 weeks and how many games? Because it's an international break. So Brighton is the last game before it closes, and then on the 1st we got someone. Who's that? On the
of course, there's always the panic of if you don't start the season well, then you dip into the transfer market even more.
Yeah, because we play Fulham and Brighton, is it? Fulham and Brighton. If they don't go good, then you know what I mean.
Yeah, or someone gets injured as well. That's another one.
So we need to just be careful, and I don't mind us sort of because we have to get through pre-season as well. And this is what me and KG were saying, was that actually, how much of our play is going to change? How much can we change? Like, all the lads aren't even in. Like, we've got a wish-wash of a team, and let's be honest, the team that's going out there, a lot of them aren't going to be anywhere near the first team match days, let alone starting. So your main guys are not there, and that's a big. And listen, every team has to do with this. Arsenal going away, they got loads of people missing. So it's like, how do we approach this? Because of course Ten Hag wants to get his principles across and start kicking us on and stuff, but Bruno's not there, Dallow's not there, Shaw's not there, Cobby's not there, Garnacho's not there, Leach is not there. That's literally 6 starters straight away off the top of my head. Do you know what I mean? And Xerxes, new player, not there. So it's hard. And then Lenny Yoro, you want to bet him in, but he's playing with the people in pre-season who he probably ain't going to play with if he starts all the games. So it's really, really difficult. Sancho, you're getting him through pre-season, but you 50-50, maybe 60-40.
It's true, Yoro, isn't it? He looks to his left and he goes, well, Leach will be there, so you're not going to be there. He looks to his right and goes, well, Dallow's there, so it would be there.
You know what I mean? So and he probably won't play with these guys until we play in the Community Shield. The Community Shield, Eric might start these guys like Dallow and Shaw and
like 45 minutes, 60
give
minutes.
Give them 45, because it's like, and then the first home game against Fulham, where we'll want to pick as strong a squad as possible, we're going to have to assess who's where and where's what. I mean, we could be looking too far into it because, like we said yesterday, these guys have gone deep into tournaments and been at camps, and so they should actually. We might be overthinking it.
Well, in terms we also of pretend like they wouldn't have spoken to him. You know what I mean? They just got no contact with these people.
No, you know what I mean. But the contact of like, oh, we're trying to do this, Luke. You know, Lenny Yoro sort of on the front foot. So what we want is this, and Leach, what we want is different to fucking. It's Fulham at home now, mate. The Premier League starting. Do you know what I mean? So. It's difficult, but it's difficult for everyone. We can't sit and cry about it. Like every team, especially every sort of maybe top 16, top 5 team, they're dealing with this. So it is what it is. But it is interesting for us to taper those expectations as fans during the off season. If we're having a few spells against Arsenal or Liverpool where we get dominated or we're not looking great, what's changed? And we just can't be doing it. We can't
That first few games before the international break, I think certainly all the big teams in Premier League will just be looking to, let's just get through it with as many points as we can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get through as many points as we can. When it comes to this pre-season, it'll be again, I've been like, just get some sharpness for those that are there. Don't pick up any injuries. Remember, we got so screwed. Look at like the importance of players. Now, Kobbie Mainoo, right? injured
Mental.
in the last pre-season. Had we had him for those couple of months, who knows what it would have been like. Even Ahmad, I know obviously he didn't feature till very late on in the season, but my goodness,
Big
he got
injury.
injured. Big injury.
Was going to go out on loan, wasn't he?
Exactly. So, but that is where, in absence, there is opportunity for those people because honestly, now, if after that game against Rangers and also with the end of the season, but if Ahmad has even just a half decent tour, he is starting at the beginning of the season. Like he can really not lock that position down because obviously there's still the likes of Garnacho to come back, but he can certainly have that conversation of like, no, it doesn't matter if that Garnacho's back. Ahmad's been really good preseason. He was good towards the end of the season. That's his spot now. And we do know with Ten Hag, like once he makes his mind up on a player in that position, then it takes a while for them to lose it or someone else to get back in. He'll just stick. That's why our centre-back pairing, even with a fit Rafael Varane, to points last season, was Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire. Because Ten Hag's went, I think he's doing around. So I like
it. He won't just switch back. There's only certain man he switches straight back for. Like Leacher would probably switch straight back for.
Yeah, like Bruno.
You know what I mean?
Bruno
switched.
Like
there's only, maybe Dallo as well, but there's not many. And if Luke Shaw's fit, like he actually is fit, I don't care who's playing left back. Luke Shaw's going to play. So, but you're right. There's only, other than that, it's all up for grabs, and maybe Cobby now as well. Harry says, give Bruno a 4+1 at 300k per week. He is the glue to the team, the leader, the magician, the Magnifico from Sporting. I don't even like Bruno. Lenny. What? So I think you're being sarcastic because you don't even like him, and then saying it's all about Lenny. Oh, interesting. All right, Harry, big up. Been a member for 16 months as well, Harry. N248 says, I think if Bruno leaves, we would find out last minute. I would love him to stay, but can't blame him if he wants to move on. Salary, trophies, and age, etc. Aminor says, not going to lie, I'm on Mason Mount watch. I would sell him now. Wow, strong words there. Sell him straight away. Dean says, Cha-Cha Chicken, fried chicken Cuban restaurant. Best in the world. Don't miss it. When you're in LA, Flex. Sometimes I want to move back just for them. Wow, and I love a bit of fried chicken. That's a bit of me and Cuban food. Listen, any recommendations, guys? If you lot are living in LA or been there or used to live there like Dean did, and you lot can tell us the spots. Same in San Diego, same in South Carolina and Charlotte. Let us know, man. DM me, get me on Twitter, or put a comment here or whatever. Let us know where the best spots are. We'll go check them out.
I saw a bit of an insight into what you've got for your for tour and stuff for that. If you follow Josh on Instagram at Josh Media, I saw him at the weekend go to, I think it might have been 3 cafes or maybe 4 cafes in Edinburgh to find the right one.
Oh,
because they weren't serving certain types of cheese or certain portions, or because they couldn't tell him exactly how many hash browns they would serve.
Owen, listen to me now.
And I thought, that's so to come on the tour.
Owen Churchill, listen to me now. Right? You lot listen to me now. This kid, this man, this person, Josh, I know you have that thing of who's the most fussy. Honestly,
it's him.
We go to Scotland.
I would never walk to like 4 or 5 different cafes.
Bro, we get to Scotland. Ironically, as soon as we land in Scotland, all he wants is an English breakfast straight away. That's the first thing, right? And then, because he's just limited in what he has, like you said, he's so basic. I just want baked beans, hash browns, and with cheese, all separate. And really, what he's asking for is actually really basic. So, like, he sees it as, how can I go to all these places and that's all I want. And we are going into legit cafes. I will back him on this. We did go to a cafe. And what I don't like is, so me and KG ordered our breakfast, and then he just wants the separate. I just want 2 hash browns. I just want a bit of cheese and some beans. So we said, can we get that? They went, nah, can't do that. Why? Yeah, we're just really busy and we can't. But the food is there. Why can't just put 2 hash browns in and put beans on it? And then what we realized, I goes, so hang on a minute. On my breakfast, if I ordered extra, if I said I want an extra 2 hash browns, an extra beans and some cheese, you charge me. Like, I could do that. We didn't realize it until Josh stormed off. But whilst he's gone, we were like, so because KG wanted an extra sausage with his pancake thing, so they charged him an extra £2. So we went, so you're basically saying for an extra this it's £2. So why could you not have just done Josh's hash brown? But anyway, we were walking. Josh has got to see the depth of the tin that the beans comes in.
Yeah.
He's got to see how
So
golden
he wasn't happy with the size of the bean
honestly,
pot.
he can't just go in there and he can't. And mate, we was in China, mate. Don't eat nothing. We had to go Pizza Hut when we was in Shanghai because Josh don't like nothing. Josh, try these noodles, Josh. Don't like noodles. No. Josh, try this. Oh, there's loads of vegetarian options, Josh. We're in Singapore. There's no. He don't eat nothing.
And he has the nerve to say that I'm fussier than him. I've been out with you into cafes and stuff like that. If it was something I wouldn't like, I would just either move it to one side or I'd say, can you take that off? Can you take that off? Whatever. That's all it would be. And once we sat down, I'm definitely not getting back up. I'm not going to 3 or 4 different places. That is not happening. Or if we go in and we're looking around, never in a million years. I saw that. I went, oh my God.
He's mental on it. And yeah, so you're right, Owen. There's, I mean, I'm more worried about Josh when we go to places that really don't have food like here. So it was mate.
He's fine in America. Thailand, he's fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine. There's pizza galore. He's fine. But there's pizza on every corner. But mate, when we went to Shanghai, when we went to Thailand, even Australia, there was enough there. But certain times there's food that he just, honestly, he's mental. He is. He is. But Cha Chicken, we'll check it out. Kenny B says, little Kenny says, good morning. Rasmus 30 goals. 100%. Big up, little Kenny. Yes, 30 goals. We will tell him. Nem Green says, Wagwan boys, our club is moving mad. I love it. But Bruno, for me, must stay. If he goes, who would you want? And do you think we need a right back? For me, we don't right now. Keep Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Yeah, so if Bruno goes, who would you want? Well, people like Dani Olmo, Eze could play there. Listen, Bruno's brilliant. There's not a lot of players in that attacking 10 position that affect the game as much as he does. I don't care how much you say about keeping the ball and frustrating, throws his arms up. Not a lot of people affect the game how he does. But there's always people out there.
I'd never replace Bruno Fernandez with Eze though. Never in a million years. That is mad.
Yeah,
that is mad.
Would you never have that?
Not in terms of like, oh, this is our replacement for Bruno Fernandez.
Dani Olmo.
Dani Olmo is a really creative player. When he played at the Euros of Spain, that was probably one of the first times I'd seen him closely. Obviously, I've seen some other stuff from him in the Bundesliga, and he's an exciting player. He's a bit more of those more like Odegaard-esque, a bit more technical. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is sometimes what people say that Man United need. But we do this a lot with Bruno, don't we? We do this a lot when we say like, not that good, blah, blah, blah. And then on the infrequent time that he is out of the team, we go, we just don't create anything. We don't create anything. We don't create anything. Exactly. What's going on? So,
and that's sort of thing that would happen with Bruno left.
Yeah.
Andre said Musiala, Wirtz. I mean, definitely Musiala.
Oh, Musiala.
1,000,000%. But we just never get him. And Cyril says, I have confidence that United will go after Cole Palmer in the next couple of years. A lot of United fans started to really like Cole Palmer because obviously he's a United fan and friends with Cobby. You can tell, obviously, he's a Manchester lad, but he's clearly been a United fan first, but ended up in City's academy and so on and so forth. It does have that sort of feel in it. He is good, though. He is good.
Yeah.
He is really good.
Chelsea. He's locked into like a 10 million year contract.
Yeah. He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. Nem Green says that. Oh no, I read that one already. So from Nem Green, big up to you, bro. And I think that is us. Are we good in terms of? Oh no, Rabiot. There you go. I was thinking there's one more there.
Yeah, very
remember,
quickly.
I've got a smaller screen, so I've got to go into that.
It's with technology. You got to put your cheaters on.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Rabiot. Yes, a little bit of an update on Rabiot. The Athletic released their sort of transfer article this morning. And there wasn't actually that much on Manchester United, it must be said. Things have slowed down. Coincidentally, since Flex back in the country, lots of people are putting that combination back together. The judge is firmly back.
Shock that was going to happen.
Well, you were away, and in a week we signed 2 players, personal terms. You come back, nothing happens. That's very curious. Makes you think. But they said that there is a long-standing interest in Adrien Rabiot, who is a free agent after his Juventus contract expired in June, with the club contacting his representatives over a potential move in each of the last 2 summer windows. They have been linked with the 29-year-old this summer, but as it stands, nothing is advancing regarding a potential arrival for the midfielder, which is quite interesting because You have reports coming out of France. There was one in Turkey because I think Galatasaray were interested in him, saying he's definitely going to Manchester United. He wants Manchester United. He dreams to play for Manchester United. I think, Flex, that Rabiot really wants to move to Manchester United, but I don't think there's been any contact between Manchester United and Rabiot. And I think it's his representatives trying to get this deal kind of done, in all honesty. What are your thoughts on the possibility of a Rabiot free transfer? Because you know what's really interesting with this? Me and KG covered the same story like a week or so ago. In the first minute, absolutely no way. 3 or 4 minutes later, he was like, "You know what? I'm warming to it. I'm excited by this transfer." Then I think he wants it. Hey. I think he wants him now. So
but you can't. I don't know with KG. You can't. Sometimes you just got to go with how he feels in that moment because it can change instantly. But I hear him though. Yeah, it's a free, innit? So
there's no such thing.
It does. True. Obviously, it costs whatever wages and whatever contract you got to give him. But the initial fees, outlay,
signing on fees.
Yeah, it depends on the package, innit? Depends on the package. Obviously, is the package going to be less than having to pay 25 million before which would have been 25 million plus 150k, 200k wages plus the agent fees? It's still more. So on a free, there might be more flexibility with what they want to do. Yes, the wages could be higher, agent fee could be higher. It depends on the numbers, but it just feels like something that we were linked with, didn't quite happen. So let's just go away from that. But football's a funny old game, man. Football's a funny old game. So I'm not madly opposed to it for some squad depth and to have him in there. I wouldn't do, like if it was Rabiot and then like no form of Ugarte or that Rios or the main guy. But for experience and bit of know-how, he plays well for France. Like all these times when we've all said like, I don't want him or I don't know about his agent, and when you see him in World Cups and big competitions and stuff, he plays quite well. But it'd have to be one of many for me.
I agree. It's conditions, isn't it? It's conditions. I mean, his wages weren't massively high at Juventus. He was on like 145k a week. I'd be like, well, if he was to come in on that wage or less, I wouldn't want a long-term deal. 2+1, maybe something like that. Max 3 years, something along those lines. Not a huge agent fee. Like if you really want the move, then you'll work with us here, sort of thing. But my concern is that's probably not the case. And 2 years ago, he didn't want to join because his wage request was too high. We were in the Europa League then. Not that much has changed in terms of that regard. We're still in the Europa League. Yes, behind the scenes has changed a lot. So I lean towards no. But like I said, if the conditions were right, I could be like, oh, that's a terrible signing for us to do. It could be quite a shrewd one, quite a smart one, if all of the conditions were right. So we shall see. But it looks like it's him that's driving all of this, stuff.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have to wait and see. And even Dan Sheldon was saying there is scope for Man United to add to their attacking department before the window closes. Ivan Toney and Calvert-Lewin have been discussed internally. That's that same sort of line that happened quite a while ago.
Several weeks ago.
And this is what you're saying about towards the end of the window, because once you see, because what we can't rule out just quickly is the end of the window or towards that, some bids could come in for players we didn't expect, and money could come in. Like all of a sudden, Scott McTominay's been sold for 35 million, and you go, hang on a minute, we've got 35 million here. Or the Sancho deal did happen to PSG. Wait a minute, we've got 35 million for Sancho or 40 million for Sancho. We didn't expect that to come in. It's quite late. We could still do deals here. Tony's still there. We could do this. We could do that. Oh, Palestri. Finally, it's happened. There's 12 million there. Hannibal, there's 8 million there. Christian Eriksen finally after the tour when we get back, it could be the week of the Charity Shield. Christian Eriksen's gone to bloody Copenhagen for 8 million or whatever. Things start happening. Lindelof, he's bloody, he's gone back to Portugal.
Where's he going?
I don't know. He's going Benfica. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It happens. These things happen, and sometimes they happen really quickly. So when we start getting a snowball effect of bids coming in for our players and people actually leaving, I think we can't rule out anything. I think you said that quite a few times, and it's exciting times. Nothing's really off the cards, because I'll tell you what, Lenny Yoro, I thought, was probably the least likely to come out of the people. There's bids flying in for Branthwaite. Everyone knows about De Ligt and the history with Ten Hag. And Yoro was pretty much, Liverpool, Man United are there, but he wants to go around with Jid. Literally, quote tweeted, yeah, we ain't getting him. Now I've watched him play his first 45 minutes. So, do you know what I mean? So football's crazy. Anyway, guys, smash the like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me check in them green. That's the last one. 600 likes we've got. Let's try and bump that up to 650 on the way out. You can do it, guys. If there's anything live and breaking, we will bring it to you as per usual. Pre-season tour starts from tomorrow. The squad flies out tomorrow. We fly out tomorrow. Anyone who's out there, get hold of us. And yeah, we're looking forward to it. Take care, guys. Peace.